Fear and greed just hit 9. It was at 5, today at 9. This is worse than the COVID crash. It's worse than FTX. And Bernstein just said that we are going to 150K plus. What do you think about that? Today I will walk you away with 3 things. China, the truth about China Treasury, the directive that will dump the US Treasuries, the 𝗕𝗅𝗙𝗊𝗙 trade, and what can happen, and the long-term effect of the 𝗕𝗅𝗙𝗊𝗙 trade on crypto. And maybe we are changing the regime. So today it will be a very interesting one, especially that tomorrow we are going to have FOMC, so everything can change. And I want to address that first. First, sorry for not being here yesterday, but as you know, I'm having some communication difficulties, and when there's not enough quality to do the live stream, I prefer not to do it. So that was the case yesterday. So regarding macro, regarding the data, I want to address this, okay? So we have this. Today we are going to have retail sales that are key. This will impact the market for sure. Tomorrow, we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. And then we are going to see what the market will react to this week. So I need to understand just one thing regarding the macro, is that right now we don't know what's the direction of the Fed, okay? We know that there's a lot of things happening that shouldn't be happening, let's say like this. And the new Fed chairman, there's a controversy here that I want to share with you because I want to know your opinion. Some people are saying this, and I want to know your opinion about this. So some people are saying that the market misinterpreted, that's how you say it in English, right? The appointment of Warsh, because some are saying that Warsh will be more bullish than the market is thinking. So this is quite interesting for me, okay? I'm been trying to dig deep on this. We know he's pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin especially. So this might be bullish. I'm not saying something bullish right now might be against the law, let's say like this. But I think that I kind of agree with what I've been researched, and I want to share that research with you tomorrow about the new Fed chairman, Warsh. I do believe that the market is not reading right, okay? I think the market interprets that he will not like quantitative easing, stronger dollar, but he likes lower rates. And he recognized there's a debt problem. But yeah, I still think that was like 3 years ago or something, or more. And that he's not going to be that bearish as people are are pricing in. So tomorrow will be more about this, okay? First, I want to know who's here, from where you are watching. I need to know who's still in the trenches, because the sentiment is so bad right now in crypto. It's like really bad. Bad. So I want to know who's here, from where you are watching. I'm seeing 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. Thank you for being here. So let me know from where you are watching. And yeah, let's see what's happening on the market. And then I'm going to explain what's the truth about China, the 𝗕𝗅𝗙𝗊𝗙 trade, and what I think you should do. Because I know the market is hard right now, as I told in my last live stream. I don't know when you enter the market, 2022, 23, 24. But I'm going to tell you, if you wanted to enter now, what I will do, okay? Regarding that, understand one thing. I do believe that these prices are very good prices for quality altcoins, okay? And I don't go on that narrative that there are too many tokens, the liquidity, whatever. That's not what I believe. Because if you do the analysis since 2021, we only had 40% plus utility tokens, not garbage, not meme coins. Since 2021, there's only more 40% utility tokens. Okay, so maybe we need these cleans, maybe we need to clean the market, and then we'll see. Okay, then we'll see what's going to happen. But I do believe that these prices, if the fundamentals are there, I do believe that these prices should be, and they are very good prices, to be honest. I know some people think that altcoins are dead, whatever. Yeah, last year was also a bear market, but the market is this year. So that's just my opinion, might be wrong, but I cannot tell you otherwise, because that's what I'm doing right now, is scooping some bargains. There's no other way to say it, okay? Or we moon, or we get wrecked. And I prefer to pay the price of being exposed and get wrecked than see the market going up and I'm not exposed. So easy as this, okay? So, but there are some good signs also for the market. There are some good signs also for the market. And this is not a good one for the bears, unless this guy now starts to be right on everything. Let's listen.
Even after today's dramatic rebound, Bitcoin still feels like it's lost its luster. The precipitous decline of the cryptocurrency occurring at the same time as a weakening dollar calls into question whether it's a real storehold of value or even a hedge against inflation. We know nothing. This volatile thing we used to think it could be a currency. That's obviously not going to happen. It's a great speculative asset, I guess, until it started plummeting.
Cramer is bearish on Bitcoin, but like really bearish. And usually when he's bearish on Bitcoin, we know what happened, right? We know what's going to happen. We know that usually the market goes the opposite way, not just on Bitcoin, basically on everything. And so, yeah, this is quite interesting, okay? Seeing that he's bearish right now. Maybe we are near a reversal. And I know some people are calling for 40K Bitcoin. Yeah. I will wait for more data, and then I'll give you my opinion on that. I want to see how the market will behave because everything was too fast, okay? Everything was too fast, and yeah, let's see. Let's see what's going to happen because, yeah, 30K Bitcoin. I'm not saying we're not going there. I was wrong about this move below 74. But let's see, okay? Let's see where we will go and where we are heading. So another big one is this one, okay? Today there will be a meeting between the banks and the crypto companies regarding the Clarity Act, you know, the stablecoin yield issues. We talk about that. Banks have fractional reserves, and if everyone moves to stablecoins because of the yields, there will lose all their liquidity, and it will be an issue. Okay, that's what it is right now. Okay, so but there will be a meeting today. Ripple will be there, Coinbase will be there, USDC will be there. So we might have some good news. We hope so. Some good news about this. But I do believe we are going to get the Clarity Act. Even if everything goes for the best, only in spring. Now we can have the Clarity Act. Okay, so just for you to understand, we are in February. If everything goes the right way, only in spring we can have the Clarity Act signed and turned into law. Okay. So there's still a long time to go. And before going to the main theme of this live stream, I want your opinion on this, okay? I was not an FTX customer, okay? I never used FTX. I didn't trust him. But he said this, and this is quite curious to me. He's saying that FTX was never bankrupt. The lawyers took over the company, and 4 hours later, they filed the bankruptcy for FTX. And if we want to do a cold analysis with our emotions, again, I was not on FTX, okay? They sold the assets in profit and repaid everyone what they had at the time. He was an early investor on Anthropic. His position will be worth now billions of dollars. I think he invested, this is for my memory, $500 million, and you could have billions now. Anthropic is closed, okay? So, just for you to be aware of this, this is really important. I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm starting to think that we might see FTX being pardoned. He's talking a lot about this, okay? And someone is tweeting for him. I hope so, that he's not tweeting from jail, although he was already caught doing a stream or an interview from the jail. But I'm starting to think that we are going to see FTX pardoned, okay? Don't ask me why. I have my feeling why. I'm not going to tell you here because it's political, but I'm starting to feel that this is going to happen. Okay, I'm really starting to think this, and I'm really starting to think that we are going to see FTX out of jail. From FTX out of jail. So, yeah, let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's going to get pardoned or not? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mute myself like I did on Saturday. Now I'll see everyone on the chat saying that I'm muted. You'll see. So just moving forward, and this is the main thing that I want to talk today. Because everyone got scared. Everyone got worried about this. And this is a nothing burger. In my opinion, this is a nothing burger. And I'm talking about this. And you need to understand one thing. Right now, fear sells. Fear always sells. Regarding crypto, it sells much longer. It sells much more right now. And everyone is telling you everything to get engagement on X. You need to be really careful here. Okay? The tactics, the manipulation just to get impressions right now on X are through the roof. Okay, I don't engage on that, and if you follow me on X, you know I'm not that type of guy. Usually I joke with that, to be honest. But be aware of this. You need to be really careful with who you follow, or you're going to need a psychiatrist in 2 weeks. Okay, you can have the same account saying Bitcoin is going down, and 1 minute after, tweeting $1 billion minted on USDC, one USDT Treasury, on the same scroll page, and your brain will get messed up. Okay, so just for you to be aware of this, protect your brain because that's a very expensive asset. Let's say like this. So, big news this week. China was advising its biggest banks to limit the purchase of U.S. treasuries, and everyone said that this is going to dump and this is a dollar war, whatever. And me, Pedro Silva, I do what I usually do. I research, and then I explain to you, and then I show you. Okay? And this is what I'm going to show you today. And I want you to understand this because I really want you to... okay. I want you to watch the live stream and feel that you are an investor understanding what's happening on the market. Okay? And this is why I do what I do. And if you don't want me to do like this, just leave the comment and I'll stop doing it. But I want to understand this. So I built this. Okay? And I'm enjoying also building this. So this is the main story, right? You need to understand this. Chinese regulators told commercial banks to limit US treasuries, whatever, but these are not state reserves. Okay? They are not dumping anything. It's just a concentration risk. It's something basic. Like if you are all in on an asset, you say, look, maybe you should start to diversify. And you need to understand something. China has been reducing treasury exposure for 13 years. 13 years, okay? That's what they've been doing. So this is not new. Nothing new, okay? Might be an acceleration of an existing trend, but there's nothing new about this. There's nothing to be worried about, okay? So, just for you to understand, what are the impacts of this? Not that much, to be honest. Direct commercial banks, yeah. Yields might rise, okay, so it's bearish, but USDT drops. It's mixed. You have it here. So you can see it. I can zoom in so you can see it better. So it's kind of mixed for Bitcoin because you have yields going up, but you also have USDT going down. And this might be the real competition. RWA competition like tokenized T-bills. This might drain the crypto liquidity because they are offering 5 to 6%. Okay, but this is real. This is the real story. There's nothing to be worried about. Okay, I don't think this will affect the market as some accounts were trying to sell to you. Okay, we might saw some short-term or day impact, something like that, but that's all. Okay. So it's neutral, in my opinion, like I wrote here. Yields are going up, Bitcoin is going down, so they compensate each other. You understand? So yeah, I do believe that we might see some correlation on the short term, but on the long term, that's nothing going to happen. Okay? So I need to understand something also really important. Right now the yields are at 4.2. Okay? And this is the insider part. Okay? This is the insider part. So you need to understand, if this starts to rise to 4.6, then you need to pay attention. Okay? That's when you start to pay attention. This starts to be close to 5, then you need to start to pay attention because this will be real competition, and there will be, this will not be just FUD, this will drain a lot of liquidity from crypto. Okay? If we start to see US yields going really high, then you should pay attention. Something is broken. Liquidity will for sure leave crypto and all risk assets. Okay, and this is something that you really need to understand. Okay, so I don't think it's bearish. And then we get the other thing that I really like. And this one, I think it's pretty cool, to be honest, for the market. And this one, the elections on Japan. And this could impact crypto. And you need to understand the Takashi trade. Okay, it's just not a fancy name. I want you to explain what is the Takashi trade. And again, that's why I built this, and this is why I'm going to show you this. So, Takashi trade, okay? And this is kind of revolution. This is like a long-term revolution. Okay, you need to understand this because this was the highest results since the end of World War II. Okay, it was this weekend historic result, and Takashi won. Okay, so you need to understand the Takashi trade. How can I say this? There are two scenarios here. Okay, the immediate reaction. The immediate reaction was that Bitcoin Japan GPI jumped 5% immediately. The stocks went higher. Nikkei, I think it was up 5%, above all-time highs. And the yen initial weakened against the USD. Okay, but looks bullish right now. It looks kind of bullish. So you need to understand this. Let me just show you. This is what you need to understand. So, like I said, the biggest post-war victory, and we had the reaction, and now we need to understand the impact. The long-term catalyst, crypto tax will drop from 55% to a 20% flat rate. This is bullish for crypto, okay? Then, stablecoin regulation, Web3 support, crypto FTF possible by 2028, and loss carry forward allowed, okay? Loss carry forward allowed. Now, you have two scenarios here, and I need you to understand this, okay? The Takashi trade, it's pro-liquidity. Like, really pro-liquidity. So, what are we expecting? A massive fiscal expansion. Okay, we are talking about $32 billion of food tax cut. Bank of Japan stay gradual, and yen stays weak, what we need because of the carry trade. Like I said, carry trade reopens, capital to risk. This is bullish for crypto. And this is the base case. Okay, this is the base case. But then we have the scenario B, and that's not so good. So, Bank of Japan is forced to become hawkish because yen is starting to rally really hard. We have the carry trade and win 2.0, capital rebalancing, draining US liquidity, short-term BTC downside pressure. So this is the two scenarios. But we have been here before. Okay, we lived this in October, November. So this is not something new to us. What you need to do right now is to monitor USD GPI, yield of Japan. If it breaks above this, you need to be alert because the Bank of Japan will need to intervene, and we don't want that. We want them to lower rates, not to raise that. So you need to monitor the Bank of Japan communications versus Takashi pressure. Okay, this is really important for you to understand what might be happening right now. And now there's the regime change, and this is just my opinion. You do whatever you want, of course, as always, not financial advice. But in my opinion, we are here in the middle. China is selling, yields are up, Takashi trade, rebalancing. There's a lot of cash stables. Ethereum is just all-time highs in stable coins. You have BTC Ethereum and you have RWA. You should be careful with leverage unless you are scalping, and you should preserve capital, okay, if you're not exposed to the market. And I'm being completely transparent. If you're new to the market, this is something that you should be looking, okay? Then you can have a capitulation, and that will be the regime C. And then that's why I wrote here, are you positioned to buy the capitulation or be the capitulation? So if this happens, you should be careful. And then you add regime A, okay? That's when you are going to get US data weak, Fed dovish, dollar drops, yield drop, etc. This is something that you need to understand. You need to be prepared, okay? On my side, I already told you, I'm not waiting for any capitulation. I do believe these prices are, at least for me, really, really attractive, and I'm buying these corrections, okay? So I think today you have a clear picture that China is nothing, just FUD, might affect something on the short term, but on the long term is nothing new. The Takashi trade can be really bullish, but are some dangers also. And this is where I believe we are. Okay, this is where I believe we are. And yeah, you just need to pay attention here, and I think you'll be okay. It's like this. I don't want to be too bullish because I know there are people that probably are not in the market yet, and I want them to get the best entry. But yeah, I think you should be aware that things might go in a nice way. Let's say like this. Not immediately, but in the future. Let's put it like this. So now, looking at this, looking at Bitcoin, just a quick chart. I'm not going to chart altcoins today because I think there's a lot of data coming and we need to be careful. But I want you to understand one thing. We haven't swept the lows yet, okay? Since that, I think it was Thursday, right? Or Tuesday? Thursday, it was Thursday. Black Thursday, let's say like this. I was expecting it to sweep the lows and then we could go higher. So something like this would make sense to me. Sorry. Something like this would make sense to me, okay? And then we could go higher and we might reject here and come lower. I'm talking about short term, okay? I'm talking about short term. Another thing that might happen, and this happened in 2024, I think I can show you here. Let me see, 2024, yeah, is that we stay stuck on this range. Okay, this might happen, you need to be ready for that, okay? In 2024, we ranged from March to November, almost a year. And the high was 73 and the low was 49, okay? So if we are not going lower, that's something, I'm not sure we are going lower right now. I need more data, I need to analyze it, and I didn't have the time because of everything that's going here in my country, as you know. But I do believe that there's a high chance that we do something like this for a few months, okay? For a few months, there's a high chance that you can do something like this. That we can range from, I would say 80K, it can be lower from 74 and 60, okay? With some weeks below, whatever. But I think there's a high chance we do this. That's why I'm telling you, I need more data. I want to be more confident what I'm going to tell you. But at least for now, I'm expecting that we might sweep these lows and then to go higher, okay? And then not this higher, I hope so. I hope so that it's that desire. But you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Because if you look at, even at Ethereum, I think I have Ethereum here, it's quite the same, okay? We haven't swept the lows, so it makes sense that you come here, tap it, and then we go higher, okay? But again, we might range here, okay? And you need to be ready for this. You need to be ready for this type of range. So yeah, I do believe that this is, wait a few more days, okay, to make sure what you want to do. And yeah, you can scalp. The market is good for scalping. You go to the 15-minute charts and you can scalp. You can see I have bluff in here. So, but yeah, also pay attention to XRP and forget that I'm an XRP investor and I do like XRP, okay? I am. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about everything that's been, everyone is talking about the XRP. Okay, it's not because it's XRP that I'm telling you this. It's because it's a fact. You are starting to see, I told you already, 𝗕𝗟𝗰𝗙, they are still doing their acquisitions. You are seeing a lot of hype around XRP. You might not like the fundamentals, you might not like a lot of stuff, but you need to understand this, okay? If XRP and the community start to see the promise delivered, XRP will run, okay? And again, I don't care if you like the fundamentals or not. There's one thing that I know everyone likes, to make money, okay? It's to make money. So I think you need to pay attention to that, and I think you need to do your own research. Again, you might hate XRP. I don't have nothing against that, but I think you should at least think, okay, I'm here to make money, and I need to see if there's the case here to making money. It's easy as that, okay? So just my opinion. Another thing that I want you to pay attention here, it's the Bitcoin dominance, okay? Let me just put on the daily because it's easier. when I look at this, if I chart this, I won't be bullish on this at all. Okay, I won't be bullish on the Bitcoin dominance right now. Okay, I can't be bullish on the Bitcoin dominance right now. If I look at this, there's nothing bullish here, in my opinion. Okay, but I do think that we might go for this week here. Okay, we might go for this week here around 63%. So just be aware of that, because this might happen. Okay, this might happen, and in that case, altcoins will bleed a lot. Okay, the vampires of the altcoins will be on X, and this means that altcoins will bleed. Okay, and it wasn't on this channel. I wasn't unbundled yet, but I did. That's why I have this here. And I'm not going to talk about alt season like Alex Becker is already saying. But I want you to do this exercise. Okay. This was the bottom of the bear, okay? And this was an alt season when we were at these levels, and this is when the alt season went. I think this was in 2021. If you look at the dominance right now, nothing points to us being on a bear. Dominance-wise, okay? Nothing points to us being on the bear market. And again, even if the Bitcoin dominance goes higher, which might go higher, like I just told you, every time we touch, let me see if I think if I do this, it will be better. Every time we touch 70%, every time we touch 70%, this was major for quality altcoins. This was major for quality altcoins. Okay, so I just wanted to end with this and do your own research. Do think that these prices might be really good. If you're not on the market, wait for confirmations. If you're already on the market like me, I'm really looking forward to keep accumulating these prices. Okay, but this is just me. I know you don't have to agree with me, and if you don't agree, you just don't follow. If you follow just to disagree, I think you have a bigger issue right here. So, yeah, this is just my opinion. So I see you everyone tomorrow.